And now the $1 million question: what's next for you?
Hoping Anderson Silva.
What, straight in?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. It's a good chance of happening, and I just, yeah.
Would that have any relation to the camera crew you were with an hour ago?
No, I
Oh,
mean the UFC's definitely trying to build me right now, and
right.
I'm PRing up, but no, it's not. I'm not doing the countdown show or anything like that.
Yeah, that's what I was driving at. So, have you been given, any intimation from the UFC, like a nod or a wink or anything that Anderson might be next for you?
Right now we're waiting on a bunch of stuff. I'm not gonna say it's definite or not, but we don't know yet.
Okay.
I'm hoping. I want him. I came out and said that. I think I deserve him. I beat 2 top 5 guys in a row. No one else has done that. I don't think anybody's beat a top 10 guy. That's a contender. So I've done it kind of sneakily, and everybody I fought are tough guys. Like my first fight in the UFC was against Alexis Sakara when he was on a 3-fight win streak. He was on his way to the title. He was like in his prime, and I took that fight in 2.5 weeks' notice with a broken rib and beat him. And then Tom Moeller, who's definitely a tough guy, submitted him, and Demian Maia, 10 days notice. I cut 32 pounds, and he was ranked 5th at the time. I was able to beat him, and then finally I finally had a full training camp, and I was able to take out Munoz, who was ranked 3rd. So the number 1 and 2 guys just fought. I just kind of dominated the number 3 guys. So right now it's looking good. Every time I've had a full training camp, I finish my opponent, and I think the UFC likes that. And I'm not going to just not. And if I get the opportunity to Anderson Silva, I'm going for the finish.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what was nice was the Munoz fight. The elbow that you dropped him with was like the overhand elbow, the diagonal elbow. I'm quite a big Thai boxing guy. We've got a big Thai boxing culture out here in the UK, and it's not something. I think that the standing elbow is underutilized anyway in mixed martial arts, but the diagonal overhand elbow isn't something we see a lot. Where did that come from?
I got longer arms, and I got the range advantage, and so Munoz was going to have to explode and make up distance in order to get to me. And so every time he winded up, I was either hit him with the takedown. Anytime he stepped in, it was either takedown. I hit him with a cross. I hit him with a hook. Or I hit him with 2 takedowns, and then the other one I tried was the elbow, and he also footwork, he comes in, I move away. Now this time he comes in, I hit him with the elbow or hit him with the takedown, so having the range helped me, and he was an explosive guy, and I know he wanted to use that against me, and it just worked out.
Nice. Okay, last couple of questions then. You've been compared to Chael Sonnen, people are saying like you're the new Chael Sonnen, not for the PR motor mouth skills, obviously, but
obviously not.
Yeah, I don't think
that guy's a genius on the mic.
Oh, it's crazy, isn't he? There'll never be a guy like that again.
No.
What do you think of all that stuff that he was doing? I mean, did he cross the line a little bit with stuff about the way he was talking about Brazil and Anderson's wife, and making Brazil out to be a 3rd world country? Some people thought that was like borderline racist.
I thought it was all in good fun, and if you talk to the guy, you just know what he's doing. I mean, he's putting on a show, he's selling fights, and I'm sure Anderson Silva didn't truly care. I mean, that made him more money, definitely. Like I got Brazil behind Anderson. It worked out good for Anderson. That was the biggest fight of his career, and that's a big part of the fighting with Chael. What Chael was saying, the way he built up the fight was huge. So. I know Chael's a good guy, so I wasn't taking it personally. You know what it is? Like, if he was to say something and then retract that statement, like every time he says something, like, oh, I shouldn't have said that, but the guy's consistently sticking with it, which is, it's his humor, it's him being funny, and you gotta get used to that. When he first started talking about Brazil and this and that, people just thought he was the most disrespectful guy in the world. Everybody hated him, but because he stayed consistent with that type of attitude, people started falling in love with that. And they started realizing and understanding his kind of humor, and I think obviously it wasn't like he really wanted to put down Brazil. It was more just to get people going and part of his humor.
I'd say he definitely pissed some people. I've spoke in the past couple of weeks. I spoke to Nogueira, Bustamante. Who else did I speak to? Ed Suarez. Like a few Brazilians are going mad. Like he really pissed some people off. But like you say. He made big money, So,
yeah, no, I know. I understand where they're coming from too. So I don't know. If I was them, I don't know how I'd feel. But for me, I didn't think he was being serious. It was just whatever. You guys just look at him and be like, he's just being an idiot. He's being Chael Sonnen again. You don't take it too serious type thing. But some people could think he crossed the line, I guess.
Because Anderson's people are saying about you now is like, Weidman's not a big enough name, and he's not going to sell pay-per-view. He's not a good opponent. He needs, a few more fights, and for that reason, they're kind of looking to turn you down if that is the fight that's getting offered. How much of that do you think is a legitimate reason, or do you think they're looking at Weidman and going, "Oh God, this guy's another Chael Sonnen. Let's avoid him"?
There's only so much avoiding you could do. If the UFC wants him to fight me, it's going to happen. And first, number one, Anderson Silva could sell a pay-per-view by himself. I mean, the guy is the greatest fighter of all time, so it doesn't matter who he's fighting at this point. Number two, they could definitely sell me. I'm undefeated. Every time I've had a full training camp, I finished my opponent. I finished my last two guys. I finished my last guy in a devastating fashion, 2 top 5 guys in a row, and I was just living in my parents' basement a year and a half ago. It's almost like the Rocky story. I just got into UFC a year and a half ago, and I have the opportunity to fight for the title. So they could definitely make that a pretty cool thing for people to be interested in. A guy who's going against when I first got into MMA, which was about 3 years ago, something like that. I tell people what weight class I'm going to do. I tell them 185. People are like, "Oh my God, that's Anderson Silva's weight class. I hope you don't fight him," type thing. Like, you basically looking at me like you have no chance of being champion type thing. And in the back of my head, I was thinking, "You're wrong," but I'd never say anything because they think I'm crazy. And I was a big fan of Anderson too, and I thought he was awesome. But in the back of my head, I wanted to be the guy to dethrone him. This is 3 years ago, before Anderson Silva would even have any idea who I am.
Right.
And now I'm finally, 3 years later, I'm actually in a position where I could actually have a shot at him and do what I want to do, and that's dethrone the best of all time. And now people aren't laughing at me when I say that, because I'm finally here, and I was able to prove it so far. So it's an exciting thing for me. I definitely think it would sell a lot, and I just think I'm a stylistic nightmare for him too. You could build that up. I'm going to give him some serious trouble. And I'm not going in there like some other guys just stated that just to see how they'll do against him. I'm not, like I said, I've been competing since I'm young. I've made that mistake before, going in seeing how I'll do against somebody who I thought was good, and then figuring out later in the match like, wow, I can hang with him. I'm done with that type of attitude. I'm going in there to beat him, and I know I belong in there. I proved it, and I'm going in there to finish him.